League Two's now finalised, formulated for the next season. The tipsters are out already. Who's going to finish where and when? What's your overall view of how the division looks?
I'm delighted for Carlisle to go up. I think they've shown some real consistency throughout the season. I actually tipped them to go up through the playoffs. I just thought they had enough without the football particularly, but they were certainly more dominant than I thought in the final and in the semi-finals. Look, we got some big teams entering the league from the division below, with big spending power. We've got some good teams coming down, and it's going to be just as difficult as it was this year. Again, it'll be down to what type of player we can bring in the building to try and help us improve. But it's going to be a really competitive league with lots of teams who's tipped for what already. I can imagine there'll be a big bracket of teams already being tipped for this, that and the other.
You mentioned that where you think it could be similar. Do you think it's going to be tougher when you look at the spending that the clubs have got coming out of the non-league, plus those coming down and those that are left? There were 3 big clubs with big wages around, still in the League Two: Stockport, Bradford and Salford.
Yeah, there's obviously some massive teams in the division in terms of their fans, what they get at home and what they're able to attract to their clubs. But we've got to concentrate on what we're going to be doing. I want that type of mentality, togetherness. Listened to Rob Edwards a lot over the weekend. I think he's spot on. That type of togetherness can take you a far way. So we've got to worry about what we're doing, and not so much about what the other teams are doing, and prepare our players and our team and our staff as best as we can going into the season.
Well, fans will get excited and looking for new signings. This is probably those earlier weeks now where it's probably the quietest it'll be. But how are you finding the chase for new additions? Yeah,
quiet. We spoke to a player last week who came up, really positive meeting with him and his partner. They've got a decision to make, which they said they will do over the weekend. So we'll hopefully hear something back off him today, tomorrow, because like I say, it's a really big decision for him. He's got a young family, so it's a big decision. But in general, it has been quiet. A lot of people away, and people are telling me it sort of speeds up after the playoffs, and it does, because yesterday the phone was going off yesterday. So hopefully things start to speed up a little bit. We'll get a couple more players in this week to have chats and conversations to and see what they're thinking moving forward. But we expect things to speed up over the next couple of weeks.
How do you go about it? You're negotiating when you bring in players from all around the country here. Have you got selling points to try and secure the deals?
Yeah, we've got our obvious selling points, which are well documented over the past in terms of what we can offer players, in terms of trying to help them progress and become better footballers. I think definitely if you speak to the players, our training, I feel is excellent. It's something I pride ourselves on. Lively training sessions, wanting to improve people. So we have got our selling points, and we do need our selling points because, like we've just mentioned, the other teams in this division can soon take over you when it comes to negotiations. So we want players, firstly, who want to come and want to improve and want to be on a journey with us.
Any dialogue with the players that you offered new deals to, and those players that you've also made available to leave if they can get fixed up? Anything developed there?
On the players that can allowed to look for another club, nothing as yet. We've had one inquiry about one of them, which I won't say who. We'll have a dialogue with them and see about moving forward, but obviously the player needs to make that decision in terms of what they feel is best for their futures as well. We'll keep helping them to do that. Players that we've offered contracts to, I'm hoping to speak to Rod today or his agent to see exactly where they're at. He's obviously had a really good season, and that wouldn't have gone unnoticed by other clubs. So, we'll hopefully speak to him today. There's dialogue again with his agent over the weekend, who's been really good and a really big help to us. So hopefully in the next couple of days we can find out exactly where we're going to be with Rod. Tariq, the offer's obviously there. We've had a communication with his agent. Hopefully again that can be resolved in the near future.
as you know, the players will try and look for the deals so the best they can get and leave it open, and you'll probably try and give as much leeway as you can. But is there sort of a deadline area period where you've got to say, well, enough's enough, we don't look as though we're going to go there, we're going to go to the next one?
Well, there has to become a point, doesn't there, in terms of, for us, we need to know what direction we're moving in. But what we've got to also do is, and the players are aware of this, is also look at options in them areas. So we're not caught out if things don't go the way we want them to go. So we are making plans in terms of looking at different players for them areas. But we want to be fair to the players as well. We want to be fair in terms of, you're asking someone to commit again for a year, 2 years, however long it may be. So we want to be fair, but we won't let it drag on forever. Like I say, hopefully in the near future we'll have conclusions with them.
As in many seasons, this football club's always done, it's always give that younger talent the opportunity to play at first team level, and you had a fair group last year that were with you and gained a lot of experience because they were in the setup of being regular match day players and match day sort of experience. Do you feel as though they're ready again to push even further up now at the stages of their development, really?
Yeah, that'll be the one of the messages to the players. They've had a real good taster for it now. Joel Taberner, Connor, Charlie Finney. Obviously, Zach broke through a little bit earlier. Had a bit of a stop-start season in terms of with his injury. But that'll be the message to them. They really need to push on next season. They've had a taste for it. They've been around it. They've trained with the players every day. They obviously know the staff, and the message will be them, to grab the shirt. And really try and push us forward and kick on, because they're a talented group, but we need them next season. We need them to really kick on next season. Obviously they're always developing, and it's always a development year for people, but we want them to become mainstays in the team, and try and build something with that young group of players we've got.
It's an incredible achievement when you go back all these years, that all the players that they've churned out here you are now in 2023 still talking about that real core of homegrown talent, that how big a difference it makes to the whole football club.
Yeah, and I've said it before. I think that's so important to the football club. You don't want this club to become one of many football clubs. We pride ourselves on what we do with the young players. Credit to all the academy staff who are here working with them players to get them to the point where they are today. Also credit to the players. They have decisions to make as they're going through their journey, younger ages, but they know they're going to get an opportunity here, and that's what we want to do. We want to give the young players an opportunity. They've got to be good enough, so we can build a team and not just throw players in for the sake of it. We want them to be good enough, and like I say, build a good team around our young players coming through. And again, it's down to good recruitment, that we get the right characters in the building to help that. But they've got to be good players also. One
player who's certainly cementing his place is Conor O'Riordan, and he's done exceptionally well, so much so that he's got selected again for an Irish sort of, I call it a get-together, but it's 3 games in the middle of June. That's just before you actually come back. So he's going to be raring to go, isn't he? He'll be putting extra work in, but it just shows, again, they're getting noticed, your players.
Yeah, definitely. I thought Conor was brilliant. The way he handled his loan earlier on in the season, the feedback we got from how he performed, not just on the pitch, but away from the pitch, the training, helped out and doing stuff with the community, in terms of doing player appearances, and I thought he brought that back with him. He's a good player, and he doesn't half train well, which makes a massive difference to him. His levels in training and his quality, he gets frustrated with stray passes. He really wants to do well, and like I say, he's got to kick on next year. His challenge is to grab the shirt and become a mainstay in the team, but it's really good recognition for the football club, for him and his family. They got international call-up. Mattis is the same. He's been called up in the similar time for Slovakia, get together, a couple of games. So like I say, we've got good players. With good players becomes these international call-ups, but it's brilliant for the players to get out there and see different experiences, be around different coaches, different types of players, and then hopefully bring that back with them.